In this self-nip bobbly de baba dee ba doo doo.
Greetings, listeners all around the world. You're listening to who am I? Mother, father. I'm MC Narcissist, and this is the 613 Records podcast. We're going to listen to some music that only a narcissist, or me, MC Narcissist, could possibly provide you with, which is my own music. Most of it's going to be some pretty crazy heavy metal. Let me turn this down a little bit. This is also a track I produced. It's called Decoherence. And if you can hear, that groovy bass and the drums in the background, then this is nothing. This is like, by the way, I'm not how do you say that word? A genre guy. I don't know genres. I don't know. I'm retarded when it comes to identifying genres. I'm starting to learn about should I say genres or genres? Fucking shit. Okay? I don't know. But what I do know is I'm learning a little bit more about how to identify them from a guy named Jacob Lazat, and I'm not even sure if that's how to pronounce his name, but this guy is one of the ultimate Creative Commons heavy metal producers in the world. He makes so much music, and so much great music, and he classifies it into different genres. Genre, fuck me in the fingertip. But so I'm just learning about these different genres from this guy, and I'm gonna buy some original and license some music from him so I can put my vocals over. And tonight you're gonna hear some things that sound like that, meaning stuff that I've strictly put my vocals over. I think. Let me take a look what I'm working with here. Oh yeah, because I did a 2-track release called Mixtape Worm. A lot of rappers put out something called a mixtape. Anyway, I made a Mixtape Worm, and the volume's about to get real loud here in a second, because I think I'm going to crank up the volume on these tracks in a second. So we got 30 seconds left on this track. Decoherence is playing right now. You can hear the guitars, right? Yeah, I put a little metal in there. Right? Alright, so the first track I'm going to play for you guys, I don't know if I explained everything just now. I think I'm going to talk to you guys about the tracks afterwards, only because I'm having trouble concentrating now. So this first track has elements of heavy metal and some other things. Listen, judge for yourself. This first track is called Holding It Down, from a project I did called Rap Carnage. That should tell you everything about it. Alright? So, it's about to get loud. Check it out.
Wanna step to my face and excite me? No, you don't wanna make me angry. Like David Bruce spent a whole queen with envy. I just really wanna cry, yeah, I can't find a way out of all this damn human disease. Everyone's about violence, not peaceful silence. And you're all looking at me as if I'm going crazy. You are the ones whose thoughts and minds are hazy, because I can really throw down. Instead I'll bow down and contain my frenzy. But there's something I'd like to confess. I'm dreaming about a bloody mess, swimming and bathing in your blood while I'm choking you out like all the rest. I'll die, not die. scene before anybody bleed, and I'm holding it down. It's such a sweet music, holding it down. I'm not gonna lose it, my self-control. You see these bloody pills? They're all inside my mind. I'd never be so cruel to unleash myself on humankind. Because it would be unfair if I were to wage a war upon all these lost souls who do not know what they're in for. Listen to my words and let them be for you a lesson learned. Losing your mind and self-control are good ways to get burned. So just get back and smile and laugh at all the idiots. But take your rotten attitude and don't get rid of that. Holding it down. It's such a sweet music, my self-control. I'm not gonna lose it. Holding it down. It's such a sweet music, my self-control. I'm not gonna lose it.
All right, I'm not sure if I bought that. Okay, so here, so now I remember some of the details about this song, and there were a whole bunch of songs that I put on this album called Rap Carnage that I produced in the same way, and the idea was that my vocals should just be another instrument, and so that they should blend in with the rest of the music just as if they were another instrument. And so I recorded my vocals very low. A lot of people don't like it. I'm cool with it because it kind of forces you to listen and try to figure out the lyrics, even though in many ways they're difficult to understand because I'm rapping really fast and I'm growling and I'm singing, but it doesn't matter. I really like the track. I'm happy the way that it came out. And some of the details about that is that the song, whatever, was recorded using, what is it? It's called a Boss BR8 multi-track recorder. It was an 8-track recorder from Roland Boss that I bought, I believe, from a Guitar Center in Los Angeles, California. And that's what I recorded the vocals and everything on. And the guitar, well, there were not, in that track, actually, there are no guitars. There's some other tracks I recorded that had guitars. I think. Let me see if I'm correct. I'm playing something later. Oh my goodness, did I not put the song in there? Okay, I need to add a track here that I actually recorded solo like that. Okay, so I have that. That's a solo track. And so I recorded that song holding it down all by myself in a bedroom in a house in South Miami. A long time ago. I don't even remember the year right now, I think, but it's got to be something like 1999 or 2000. Long time ago. The song's definitely 21 or 22 years old. Anyway, so and then the drums were created using a 6-track sequencer from a Casio CTK 731 keyboard. Yeah, look that up. Casio CTK 731 keyboard. And the vocals and I input the Casio CTK 731 keyboard drum tracks into 2 tracks into the Boss Roland, or it's called a Boss BR8 8-track multi-track recorder. So that's how I recorded that track by myself. Okay, so that's the little bit about that, and I'm really happy. That's one of my favorite songs, and I use it as a soundtrack to some of my fight videos and everything like that, because it opens up saying, "Do you really want to fight me? Do you really want to step to my face and excite me?" And then I use a line from The Incredible Hulk, "No, you don't want to make me angry." And so that's what that's from. So now I'm going to play another song. I didn't make the music for this. It's really extreme metal, maybe death metal. Again, remember, like I said before, I don't know genres. I'm just going to call them genres. Let's say John. Like John, go to the John. Or John, like a person's name is John. We're going to say genre. Or like, because I really don't know how to pronounce that word. Because I don't use it a lot. Because I don't know what genres are, really. And I'm learning, and I know I'm retarded, and I'm stupid. Stop making fun of me for it. But that's where I am in life. Even after all these years of making music, I don't know genres. So the next one is a track called Play My Game. And Robert Woods Ledoux played all of the instruments. He played the drums. If there's bass in here, which I can hardly hear, and the guitars, he did all of that. And then he sent me a recording of this, and then I used my Boss BR8 8-track recorder to record my vocals over this. So this was actually done interstate. I think he was in South Carolina or North Carolina when he sent me this song. And I know that I was in Hollywood, California when I recorded it. But anyway, this is called Play My Game. So check this out, and I'm going to find the other track that I want. Oh yeah, it was called Fuck the World, which is another track that I did solo, just like Holding It Down, but it's totally different because it's death metal, or at least what I think is death metal at the time, because the song I created when I was 16 years old called Fuck the World. But right now, I'm going to play you Play My Game by myself, Hakeem Ali-Bocas Alexander, and Robert Woods Ledoux. Check it out, y'all. So this is Play My Game.
Because you never pay on time, and I don't like that. Oh, you do not like that when you do not pay on time. Oh, you do not like that when you don't pay on time. Why would I do not like that when you don't pay on time? So stupid, not enough, you're just done for love. Wow, shit, let's see, he is late for love home. Now you're in big trouble. I think he might hurt you. Hide inside the bubble. Roughness is the virtue. So I'm a little bit late. What you gonna do? What are you going to do? What are you? Hey, what are you doing? Share this
In all honesty, I probably should have started off the podcast with that song. That Bob Ledoux is a badass. Also, aka Robert Woods Ledoux. This guy, by the way, just a side note, or a full note, or a half note. That's another thing I have no idea about is music theory. Really, I'm garbage when it comes to music. I don't know genres. I don't know music theory. I don't know how to play chords on the guitar, even though I claim to play guitar. Whatever. I'm just one of those assholes who seems to think that I somehow have a claim to making music just because I enjoy it. Anyway, so Robert Woods Ledoux, or Bob Ledoux, as I knew him as, he was the instrumentalist who created, orchestrated that, composed that musical background, and then I recorded some vocals over it. I do best, I'm much better when other people make the music and it's not me making the music, because I just play power chords and, just jam, so whenever anybody else plays the music for me, my vocals get better because they're really good musicians. All right. So that was Play My Game by Robert Woods Ledoux, like I said, Bob Ledoux, and we did that as an interstate recording. It was at the time people were sending CDs back and forth. We were not emailing each other or sending each other links to the cloud or anything like that. We were actually sending it. He sent me a physical CD, and then and that recording that you heard is from that physical CD that he sent me, and I took that CD and I recorded it into my Boss BR8 8-track digital standalone recorder, and then I did however many tracks of vocals were on there, and that was a track that you heard right there. Okay, so now let's move on. Robert Ledoux is an amazing musician, but now I'd like to tell you about some other amazing musicians. However, before I do that, because I want to mix it up just a little bit, I'm going to go to another solo track that I did, and this one is called Kick a Hole in the Wall, and I recorded this when I was in China, in Hangzhou, China, and it was unfortunately after my wife, Flor Elizabeth Carrasco, died, and it was with my friend Chase Allen. He lived in China. I met him there in China, and we were playing capoeira, which is an African Brazilian martial art, and we were in this 24-hour studio, and he tried to do a backflip or some kind of move off of a wall. It was a cheap wall in this gym, and he kicked a hole in the wall. And so then I went back and I used the what is that software called? It's a sampling software, and I don't remember the name of it right now, but I'll probably remember after I play the song. But anyway, this is called Kick a Hole in the Wall, and the music is sampled drums and guitars, and all my vocals, by the way, that are recorded directly, and you can probably tell, but I think they sound badass. I recorded them directly into a Samsung Galaxy S7 device. No filters, nothing else, just me growling into the microphone. So check this out. This is called Kick a Hole in the Wall. For some reason Okay, I remember now. The software is called Music Maker Jam. And when you've been producing music as long as I have been, you can manipulate almost any kind of software to do whatever you want it to when you listen enough times and just make it do what you want it to do. So that was called Kick a Hole in the Wall. My vocals, Music Maker Jam, they have some great pre-recorded samples that you can manipulate. And so those weren't any no original music on there. Again, it's kind of like, the interesting thing is, it's like kind of doing like a freestyle over it's like karaoke, but freestyle. You can go and do whatever you want with the music. But the difference is that with Music Maker Jam, you can manipulate the different notes and the different chords that are into the song. So it doesn't sound like the original song or the original recording, the original loop that the musicians put in. I was able to manipulate the different notes. So I put that in, whereas before I don't remember what it sounded like, but it didn't have those kind of progressions. So I created those progressions myself, which are pretty typical progressions, I think, but those weren't in the original recordings. And also the speed of the drums were not in there either. Neither were those solos. So I put that all into together. So that's, I produced that music from pre-recorded samples. All right, so that was called Kick a Hole in the Wall. Kick a Hole in the Wall. All right, so let's see what's next. Maybe I should play. So there was a band called Pungent Stench. And many years ago, they put out an album, which I'm going to have to look up. But they put out basically instrumentals of their songs, and they wanted other musicians, other vocalists to record their own vocals over their songs. And they called the tracks they put out karaoke versions. But when I heard it, I didn't know that there was a contest for them to see who could do the best vocals and reproduce a song that they had previously recorded. I had no idea. But what I heard was an opportunity to just make my own kind of like a mixtape, right? Rappers make mixtapes. They take beats, popular beats from other artists, and they do their best to freestyle or, listen over and over again and produce their own raps to the tracks that they hear. And so I did that with this song, with this track. I don't remember what it's called now. I'm going to see if I can look it up real quick, but I'm probably not going to find it by the time this track is done because it's only like 3 minutes. But what I called it was Kang Lang, which was, at the time, I was training with a Muay Thai or Thai kickboxing, Thai boxing instructor who was teaching me the art of Thai fighting. And his school was called Kang Lang, which I think means strength or strong in Thai, in the Thai language. And so I created this track called Kang Lang Muay Thai, and I'm yelling and screaming in this track. And again, this is not my music. This is the music from the band called Pungent Stench. And if you know what the track is, leave me a comment. Let me know what the name of the song is. But that's what this is. This is called Kang Lang Muay Thai. The music is Pungent Stench. The vocals and lyrics are all me, Hakeem Ali-Bocas Alexander. Again, recorded with my Boss BR8 multi-track recorder that I bought a very long time ago. And I'm looking for another one, something similar even, by the way. I love those standalone units. A lot of people nowadays are using Ableton Live and other software, computer software-based programs, but I just love those standalone units. Anyway, so I recorded this. It's called Kang Lang Muay Thai, and it's all about beating the fuck out of people in the ring and in the street. So go ahead and check out Kang Lang Muay Thai. There we go. All right, everybody. About to start screaming some crazy shit about Muay Thai. So check it out. And I got news about that later. So I don't know if you notice, but I tend not to favor using very many effects on my voice. The only thing I use and most often is reverb, which means just a little bit of, it's not exactly echo, it's just giving an ambient sound that I'm in a room of some kind rather than directly into a microphone. And so that's the only effect I use. And the other effect I use is overdubbing, which is sometimes I layer more than one voice over the other. And that song, though, in Kang Lang Muay Thai, I didn't use any overdubbing and I used very minimal reverb. So that was actually a very pure song. I was just screaming at the top of my lungs about beating the fuck out of people in the ring in the street. So that was called Kang Lang Muay Thai. Again, Pungent Stench is the band that did that song, and they released it as a karaoke version. And instead of me recreating their original vocals on that song, I decided to use it to create an homage. Hey, there's that G again for French. Homage genre. To one of my martial arts teachers. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play one of my own solo tracks, only because I want to end this with a song by an amazing musician that's not me. So I'm going to play, this next track is called Fuck the World, and I actually have FTW tattooed on my left shoulder. So if you ever meet me anywhere and you ask me, Hakeem, You really have "fuck the world" tattooed on your body. Yes, I do, but not the entire words "fuck the world." But I do have FTW tattooed on my left shoulder. It's the first song that I recall that I ever wrote on my own. I was about 15 or 16 years old. It was 1992, 1993 was when I really finished the song. And this is my first track called "Fuck the World." And this version you're going to hear of it is the first version that I created 7 years later with the Casio CTK 731 6-track sequencer, where I created the drums for it. And the guitars are actually the guitars that I recorded back in 1993. So there's like a 7-year gap and overlay of instruments here that I created to make the song. I matched the drums, and I used a metronome to keep the time of the guitar part that I originally recorded. And this song eventually ended up being recorded by a band that I auditioned for and got into, a death metal band called Acrimonium, which you can find them on the Heavy Metal Encyclopedia, also known as Encyclopedia Metallum. Not very many favorable reports about it. Some people say we're good, some people say whatever, whatever. But yeah, we're in there. We're in the heavy metal, the Metal Encyclopedia, and this is a song they got to reproduce on stage, and it was a song that I also played with a band. There were 2 side bands that I had with a guy named Doug Humlack, who not too long ago got hit by a car and killed, and he was one of my favorite people, not just as a musician, but just as a person. Can't say that. Anyway, Doug Humlack, amazing musician, great guy. We had a couple of side bands. One of them was called Fester, and another one was called Evil Fetus. Anyway, stupid names, right? For the bands, not very creative. But we played the song "Fuck the World," and so did the band Acrimonium, although I don't think it's listed on the website. But this is the second to last song I'm going to play in whatever this is that I'm releasing to you guys here on 613 Records. It's called "Fuck the World." It's a solo project. I programmed the drums by hand in the Casio CTK 731 keyboard, which I actually still have, and it's still functional. And interestingly enough, the battery still retains the memory. I don't know about now. I was in China for 4 years, and I'm about to go back to California whenever I can and get that thing. But anyway, it's an amazing. I'd like to use it again. That 6-track sequencer on that thing is revolutionary. A lot of people don't know about that, but that's what I recorded the drums on, and the rest of this is my guitars, my bass, and my vocals that I recorded. So the drums, definitely drum machine from the keyboard, but the guitar, bass, and vocals were all recorded live in one take over the song, which is called "Fuck the World." The very first song that I recorded. It's my, I don't know how to, it's just my introduction to music. This is my way of breaking into saying I'm a recording artist. It was this song called "Fuck the World."
It's so damn annoying. My mind's not at ease and my body's destroying. Don't ask me what's wrong, I told you I don't know. Just give me some time to regain my control. I hate the world. In death I can find to take me away from a world of living which I cannot stay. I hate the world. Rock the world. Kill the world. Destroy it. Destroy the world. Rock the world. Kill the world. I hate it.
Yeah, that was Fuck the World, 1993. One of my first tracks. I didn't mention this before, but those were the original vocals. The only thing I didn't add any reverb to those vocals. All I did was I took one single track and I split it and I copied it and made it to 2 tracks and I panned it from left to right. And so it made it sound like it was coming out of the left and right side at some points in time. But other than that was the original tracks from 1993, the guitars, the bass, and the vocals. And then the drums I recorded, I believe, around 1999 or 2000. I don't remember. I'll have to look into it. I don't have the Boss BR8 or those zip discs. I don't know if anybody knows what those are, but those have the dates on them. I've been a terrible person about recording dates about my poems and things like that. Anyway, so that was Fuck the World, the initial song of MC Narcissist, that is I, or Red Coin Studios or 613 Records, that I've been recording under those monikers, those names. And I really like that track that I did. So we have one more. I have one more that I'm going to play. And this actually is interesting because this is a little bit of a crossover track, and it also brings up a lot of regret. One of the things that I regret in my life is that this musician has tried to contact me over the years, but because of some things that I was going through, I believe he feels like that I was ignoring him or not being nice to him or somehow. And he went through some stuff on his own. I know he had some issues of his own, and I know that my behavior didn't add to making him feel any better. He probably felt like I was just being an asshole. But I was just having a lot of problems myself. I was dealing with depression. I was having breakups. I was being homeless. All kinds of shit was happening when this guy was trying to reach out to me. And it was back in the days of MySpace and other stuff like that. And we had disconnected. He made a whole bunch of songs. He sent me a CD of like 20 tracks that he wanted me to put my vocals on, and I never was able to do it because I left the home that I was living in, and I was living on the streets for a little while, and I still had my recording equipment, but I couldn't plug it in anywhere, and let alone scream and do what he wanted, and nor could I respond to him through email. Anyway, it was really bad times. But I'm glad that we were able to get at least this one track down. He's an amazing musician, another prolific musician, just like I mentioned earlier about Jacob Lazat, who does Creative Commons music, where he creates basically instrumentals that you can record your own vocals over. You can buy the tracks. You pay like $20 and you get a Creative Commons license to be able to play it in as background in your own videos, or even record your own vocals over. And sometimes he even sells full out, gives you all the licensing rights to music, so that you own it outright for anywhere between $200 to $500. I mean, the guy's an amazing musician, this guy Jacob Lazat. But Keith Merrow is who I'm talking about now. His name is Keith Merrow, who I recorded this next track with, this last track I'm going to play in this podcast here for 613 Records, or Red Coin Studios, or under the name of myself, MC Narcissist. I'm the narcissist. I'm the most narcissistic MC you will ever encounter. But this next track is so the crossover about this is that it was at a time when I believe this was in 2004, and I had this Casio CTK 731 keyboard, and it was actually how he got the idea of how to program drums, because he's an amazing guitarist, and that's when he sent me that CD with all these tracks that he wanted me to put my vocals on, and I remember seeing later that he had sent me a couple more follow-up emails like, "Hey, Hakeem, are you there? Are you going to do it or not?" It was very sad that I wasn't able to follow up. I wasn't in a good place. But we were at my apartment. It was in Hollywood, California. It was right at the bottom of Hollywood Hills, or right at the bottom of North Hollywood, California. It was like 2017 Argyle Avenue, I believe it was. Yeah, 2017 Argyle Avenue. And he came up to my apartment, and we sat there for like 8 hours. And we put this song together, and it's called Rise from the Ashes. And it was a song about heartbreak, something that he had gone through. But he said, he basically, what he did was he gave me the idea. He said, "This is what I want the song to be about. Here's the guitar part that I'm writing. You come up with the vocals, Hakeem." So this was what Keith Merrow said to me. And you can look up Keith Merrow. His last name is Merrow. If you look him up on Facebook, if I can find links, I'm going to put them in this podcast here. He's an amazing musician. But he said, "Hakeem, this is what I want it to be about. I'm not going to tell you any lyrics, but this is what I want it to be about. Here's the music." And so he played the guitar part. And I came up with the lyrics, and of course I did the vocals. And together I showed him how to use my Casio CTK 731 keyboard. I showed him how to program the drums, and together we programmed the drums. So it was like a very first time I did this. Very first time that I programmed drums together with somebody. It was the first time that he programmed drums like this for music. And it was his original music, guitar part, and my original vocals and lyrics. And we came up with this track called Rise from the Ashes. It's a broken heart song. Many of you who don't understand death metal will probably not understand these lyrics. It doesn't matter. The song is badass. And it's the last song that I'm going to play here today. And this production of MC Narcissist. It's only 3 minutes and 21 seconds long, so enjoy it. Rise from the Ashes, y'all. Take it out.
Just
Y'all, so that was Rise from the Ashes. Like I said, Keith Merrow is the guitar player and the inspiration of that song, and he basically told me what he wanted to be about. If you guys want to find out what the lyrics are to that song, I'm going to do my best to put links to all these tracks and their lyrics in this podcast. They may not be there at first, but I would be inspired if you guys sent me some messages or left comments, either here on the YouTube videos or on Spreaker or wherever you're listening to this, iHeartRadio, and wherever you hear the podcast. And I'm going to give you just one more track. It was the band Acrimonium that I was in. This is the song called Demonic Indignation, and it's a low quality recording, trust me, in some ways. But if you listen to some black metal, old school death metal, and this has not been mixed or mastered or anything else, it's one of my favorite tracks. This is called Demonic Indignation by Acrimonium. I think you're really gonna enjoy this. Check it out. Yeah, this is one of my favorite tracks. And I'm sure that the quality of that recording would have been much better if I hadn't had to rip it from a cassette tape. How many of y'all know what that is? Cassette tape. Magnetic tape. A little rectangle thing that you put into a tape player. Oh my goodness. So I pulled that recording from a cassette tape, and it was recorded back in 1995. So here we are in 2022. Wow. Whoa. Holy crapoli. Is that really how long ago? Oh my goodness. Wait a minute. I'm having something's wrong going on with my brain feels soaked in vinegar right now. If we go back to the year 2000, that's 22 years from now. We add 5 years. Holy. This song is 27 years old, at least, with my vocals on it. Wow, I've been in the game a long time. That's wow. Anyway, let me give some credit to where credit is due. The song is called Demonic Indignation by the band Acrimonium. The founder of the band Acrimonium is Daniel Veilleux. He's a French-Canadian. He's the lead guitar player and the founder, as I said, of the band Acrimonium. One of his favorite bands, by the way, is Iron Maiden. He always used to wear Iron Maiden t-shirts, and there were Iron Maiden posters posted all over the walls of the studio warehouse in which he put all his money in renting so that we as a band could go and rehearse and practice in Hollywood, California. The rhythm guitar player, the main rhythm guitar player who was there most of the time and was the most reliable person in the band next to Daniel Veilleux was Doug Humlack, who also became a best friend of mine in the band, and unfortunately, like I mentioned earlier, I believe got hit by a car just, I think, last year in 2020, which is upsetting, to say the least. And then the bass player, I only know him as Carlos. Don't know his last name, don't know anything else about him, except he was an amazing bass player, and his name is Carlos. And then the drummer who took over from another drummer, I think Cesar Polaris, who went on to do other bands, and we never really got along with him that much anyway, but the drummer I know, and a friend of the band Acrimonium, is Douglas. So I just want to make sure that we know that Doug Humlack is the rhythm guitar player I was talking about. So now I'm talking about a different Doug. Okay, and so we have Douglas Mahoney on the drums. Okay, so Douglas Mahoney on the drums, who also taught me how to play the drum track for Sepultura's Territory, interestingly enough, which is easier than I thought it would be. So, and then I didn't say this, but that was me on the vocals. If you didn't already guess, I'm playing songs that I'm the vocalist for. So that was me on the vocals. And again, the only effects that were used were reverb and overdub. So there were echoes, or, things like an echo put on my voice, and layering my vocals over each other, which I'm not a big fan of, but it made sense in that song. Anyway, we've been here for an hour, and it's time to go. So I'm going to get out of here. Let me clickety-clack out of here. I'm going to play Decoherent as I get out of here. Yeah, that was it. My name is Hakeem Ali-Bocas Alexander, also known as MC Narcissist. This has been the MC Narcissist 613 Records podcast, Red Coin Studios. And I'm out of here. Until next time, I'm going to play you guys some more and better music, or at least some more of my own music, because I'm a narcissist, right? So that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to play you guys some shit. Hey, look, what do you want to do? Right? This is my podcast. Who the fuck is going to tell me what I'm supposed to play on my fucking podcast? It's my podcast, and I'm going to fucking play what the fuck I want to play. If I want to play all of my own music every day, all day long on this podcast, that's what I'm going to do. Every once in a while, I'm going to play some songs from some friends of mine. Not mine, but friends of mine. And that's cool too, because you'll hear about some music from people that I know. But I also want you to hear music that I made vocals for that you may not have heard before. Why? Because you didn't hear it before. Shit, sorry for that. So, that's what I'm going to do on this podcast. A lot. And I have hundreds of songs. And so, unfortunately, you're going to have to bear with listening to what the fuck I've done. Even though there's no industry standard here. I'm not an industry standard guy. If I was, this music could never be underground. But with the internet, it's not really that underground anymore, right? It's in the air, it's in the clouds, in the cloud, right? Anyway, so yeah, so nobody knows. So the thing is that I'm just gonna play music on this podcast as much as I can of all different kinds. I'm gonna do my best to bring you variety, but I'm not gonna try to lie to you and tell you that a lot of it's not gonna be my own music. But what I will guarantee you is that I'm going to scour the earth, not physically, but from my laptop, to find music that I can play for you that's going to be, if nothing else, interesting. Alright, have a good night, people. Or maybe not good night, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time of day it is for you. Have a good whatever it is. Have a good one, as people often say. Have a good one.